that kind of playoff intensity, making maybe a little more hesitant to bring a guy back in?
We play with the same intensity every night, Christian. So I don't know what you're alluding to.
No, I mean, you would think that, you know, so.
No, I don't think so. I think if he's ready to play, he's ready to play. You know, we have kind of trust in that whenever performance, Kevin, and everyone's on the same page, he's ready to play regardless of who we're playing.
Okay, and second, just as it pertains to Ben, what exactly is it that's keeping him off the court right now? Is it conditioning or is it something else?
Conditioning. You know, we're just kind of trying to get him to a place where he can, you know, it's been a long layoff, right? So he hasn't played NBA basketball for a long time. So just trying to work through that.
I'll switch my question because Kevin came up. I was going to ask something different, but does a guy like that who's been around so long and has had injuries have a little more say than anyone else as far as when he's ready versus when the trainer performance staff says he's ready?
You know, I think veterans probably, you know, have such a history of understanding their bodies and recovering from injury that they probably do have a little more leeway and power in the decision-making process. You know, Kevin's traditionally been an unbelievably quick and strong healer. So that's positive. But at the same time, we don't want to risk, you know, him for 2 or 3 games at this point. You know, we want to make sure he feels confident on top of the performance team so that we can have him for the long haul, not for, you know, a couple games that are, you know, jeopardizing the rest of the season.
Coach, before the break, Patty said his legs were cooked. Drummond said he needed to work his way into shape a little bit more. How much did you guys need the break, and what's the mindset coming out?
I think everybody needs the break. You know, it's a long season, a lot of games. You know, I think we had that crazy week where we had 4 and 5 nights from Brooklyn to Portland back to back, Chicago to a game back home the next night, and then we had 22 games, 22 days of 30 on the road. So I think our guys just went through a really tough stretch. I think there's, you know, the point in the season where everyone kind of suffers, but we definitely were feeling it, especially shorthanded. So the break was good for us. You know, now we know we got 23 games left, and we got ground to make up, and we also have to put together a new group of players. So, you know, I think our focus is at an all-time high, and the break hopefully was a nice reset for us.
This is twofold for KD and for Ben and for Joe. What are the next steps that each of those three have to reach before they can play?
You know, in general terms, to return to play, you have to have a number of high intensity workouts. So playing at full capacity, typically 3 times before you can return without incident. And so they're all at different stages of that, you know. So, but that's kind of the markers we're looking at, and they're all, like I said, at various points in that. Some are in the high intensity bucket already, some are not, and whatever it is. So we you know, I think Kevin's probably the closest, but has some time to make up still. And then, you know, Ben and Joe are trail behind him.
Yeah, I mean, is KD in the high intensity bucket at least once so far?
Yeah, I mean, he played. He's playing. I would say he's had 1. So we'll see. You know, he seems like he's getting there, and we'll see how he responds tomorrow. And then we'll try to get him his subsequent workouts.
And not to beat a dead horse, but with Ben, you said it's conditioning. So from an organizational point of view, you guys feel he's in the right headspace to play.
Well, I think it's unfair for me to talk about Ben's headspace. You know, but all I can say is we're excited to have him with us and getting him back to activity after, you know, such a long layoff where he wasn't around a group. You know, these are periods that we want to really take our time to assess.
Steve, is there any chance Goran plays in Milwaukee?
I suppose it's not out of the question, but we'd have to assess, you know, how he comes through today, tomorrow, and see where he's at Saturday. So it's probably less likely that he would play. But I think in the next 3 games, there's a good chance he's out there.
You touched on it, but is there any chance you think Kevin plays Saturday?
I'm sure it's possible, but for me, it's probably again in the next 3 games, more likely than Saturday.
Boston's defense has been a lot stronger since they took Rob Will out of the pick and roll and moved him into that low man help position. So how do you deal with a team's best rim protector kind of zoning off the play?
Well, I think it's a great facet of their defense. They have size, length, all over the floor, and then they can put their rim protector on the lesser offensive perimeter player and be able to roam. We've seen other teams do it and to great effect. And, especially when you're missing certain guys that can really eat up space offensively, it can be extremely effective. So it's a great challenge for us. It's a great challenge to continue to play with pace, to continue to move the ball, to not hold it, where they can really load up, zone up, and allow him to protect larger areas. We've got to get them on the move, including him, and make him guard multiple actions so that it's not just sitting there reading an easy book. He's got to continually flip pages and figure out what's going on and try to adjust to the pace and the multiple actions. Great. Thanks, guys.